Buzz's Retirement Garage here on Monday. Another beautiful day in Cleveland, Ohio. Stress relief is the most underrated benefit of retirement by far. You can't imagine, unless you're retired, you can't, and even if you're retired, you can't even imagine how it feels to eliminate, just by retiring, most, if not all, of the stress of your life. Now, sure, specifically, people still worry about different things. People are born to be worrywarts. My wife is like that. She's probably kept us out of trouble by being a worrywart, especially when the kids were young. We have in our local area, we have what's called Cedar Point Hill, not to be confused with Cedar Point the amusement park in Sandusky, but we have this hill that we can climb, and I'll take you there one day. And before they put steps in there, I think there's a billion steps or something, but we used to climb up the side of this mountain. So if you went, not mountain, it's a hill. It's not, I don't want to call it a mountain because some of you actually live where there's real mountains. We don't have real mountains here in Cuyahoga County. But we would climb up this thing, and if you went off to the right or off to the left, I mean, you were down the shale and you're down on your rear end. So she would always caution us, especially when we took the dog, be careful, don't. So there are people who just worry naturally. But when you retired from work, you did so many things to reduce that stress. What's number one? You just, hear me out. Just picking out your clothes. Whether you did it the night before or whether you did it that morning, the first thing, is you're already trying to make decisions. You got to make a decision about what you're going to wear. You have to make a decision. Does this tie go with this thing? Does this pair of pants go with this shirt? Do I have extra socks? Did I get the laundry done the night before? Is it still in the dryer? That's the first 10 minutes of basically getting ready for work. You've already made a bunch of decisions. Of course, your travel. I went 19 years traveling 45 minutes each way. It was a 90-minute round trip for 19 years. Imagine, and you know that if you drive, some people don't drive, but if you do drive, imagine dealing with that traffic in those highways and side streets for 19 years and all the different craziness that went on. So you're already getting to work stressed out. You're at work, you're dealing with all the problems or situations, and then you have that drive home, and people say, well, I use my drive in or I use my drive home to decompress. You do, but your stress level is still high. Even though you think you're decompressing on your drive home, you are still stressed out, okay? So let me just tell you something. A little personal here, but that's okay. I had stomach problems for probably the past, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. As you get older, you do sometimes, certain foods you can't eat, certain foods bother you more than others. But I got to a point where I would get so sick, where I would have issues coming out of both ends, okay? And I started to document them, and it would happen every few months. And I wasn't eating anything different. I was chewing my food, I was doing all the right things, and I was still having these stomach issues. So I started documenting it, went to the doctor. Long story short, we did the colonoscopy, we did the endoscopy. Luckily, he did the endoscopy first before he went to the colonoscopy. Otherwise, my doctor told me if I do wake up out of the anesthesia with a bad taste in my mouth, they went the opposite way. But I got all the tests done. I even got a test where they checked my digestion by putting a radioactive egg through me. I had to eat like a little breakfast egg with radiation in it, I guess, to see how fast it traveled through my system. So I did all the tests, And, you know, well, maybe it's irritable bowel system, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. So I look back in 2023, I retired in September, the end of September 2023. So I look back and I had 2 episodes, one in February and one in July of 2023 that I marked down. I probably had some that were borderline issues that I did not write down. But let me tell you something. Without taking any medication, since September of 2023 when I retired to now, June of 2024, I have not had an episode or even close to an episode. Did I feel like I was under stress while I was working? No. You don't feel it. That's the whole point of this video, is it's so underrated that the getting rid of that stress is in my opinion, if someone were to ask me what's the best thing about retirement, the answer by far, not even the number 2 is not even close, but the number 1 thing is the reduction or elimination of stress. Now, I've taken that a step further. I don't watch or try to pay too much attention to world events. I come out here, I work my garden, I do my lawn work, I'll head to the river to go fishing, I'll do some walking, I'll do shopping or whatever. I don't get caught up in the day-to-day activities that are going on in the world. And I think once you're retired, and I know it's easy to sit and watch TV and see some of the crazy things that are happening almost every day. I divorce myself from that. I really don't try to get too deep into it. Superficially maybe, but I don't want to get into it. But I'm telling you, if you're not retired yet, and some of you that watch my channel aren't there yet, you're close, but you're not there yet. It is the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing, I'm telling you. And those that are retired and still don't feel like you're stress-free, well, you might have some reasons for it. There could be some issues you got going on with either family or money struggles or health issues that just don't make you feel as stress-free as I'm saying it is. And I can understand that too, but trust me, this is the number 1 benefit for me of being retired. And by the way, I have my Deer Park water from Pennsylvania. So to my Michigan commenter, I don't drink blue water. I'll drink the PA water. Go Ohio State. Buzz's Retirement Garage.